Hello my lovelies, Susie here from Susie Mac Creations. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm here to share my completed Gentleman's Diary journal, which was an absolute out of the comfort zone, never done before. Not sure if I'll do one again, but it's completed. All the bits and bobs are in it. I followed the tutorial from the lovely Amanda over at Create with Scrimping Mummy. You find her on YouTube, and I'll link her YouTube channel below. I also used all of her digital papers, which were given to us as a subscription member for the Joy, which is a Journal Our Year collection, and this was called, I think it's Gentleman's Diary. I've also used a couple of other collections that I've purchased over the past couple of years. I've used Word Soup and Vintage Beauties collection and Victorian Gent collection. There may be a couple of other bits like her coffee dyed papers and her pretty paper collection that I've used. But if I can remember when I go through the diary with you, I'll let you know. The measurements of this beauty is 8 1/4 tall by 6 1/2 wide. It has 2 signatures, a 2-inch spine. As I said, all of the instructions for making the front and back cover and the spine and all the little lovely additions are over on Amanda's YouTube channel. As I said, the 2-inch spine, it contains 2 signatures. The first signature has 52 pages front and back, and the second signature has 56 pages front and back, not including the inside and the back covers. In total, there's 110 pages in this chunky journal. So before we do anything else, let's get into the journal. As I said, it's beautifully designed by Amanda. I've used some hardware on the front and a little hardware charm on the side, but if we open up, we'll show you where we're going. The front inside cover is made, the pocket is made from just a book page, which has been folded to make like an imitation envelope, and I've just added some of Amanda's collections. I think this was from the, I can't remember where it's from. It's from Amanda, but which one? Could be her invoices or her ledger papers. I can't remember. If I can remember, I'll put them down at the link down at the bottom of this video, and a couple of little pieces to slip into the pocket. The front cover of the first signature is the gentleman. This is from the Gentleman's Diary, and such a stunning picture. Amanda's designed this one beautifully. But as I say, it was out of my comfort zone. I'm usually making girly things and not for gents, but I enjoyed doing this. As I say, I might not do it again. We turn over and we have a tuck spot here, just made up from a cluster, using some of the leftover papers from the collection and a nice journaling card to tuck inside. I printed onto some vellum one of the ledgers, and again here is one of her invoices, and this is her pretty paper. The camera's catching it up, but you can see it's absolutely gorgeous. Another invoice. This was from the Vintage Beauties collection. I wanted to throw in some female pictures, so I thought this was nice. I've done stenciling throughout the journal and stamping on the pages that I class as journaling pages. You can write away here and here. This is from the collection. I made a belly band using the background papers from the collection and just cut out some bits and pieces from the cut apart section. This is a hidden paper clip which holds a cabinet card which I had in my stash, and I've added photographs, book page and some lace at the bottom. And as I say, this was made using just some of the cutouts from Amanda's collection, and it can go in either way. It can go in the top. Of course, that will sit back up there. We turn it over, and this is a letter from Amanda's, one of Amanda's collections, and it's one of the old-fashioned fold-away letters which you will find in her coffee shop. Again, the beautiful papers. I haven't done anything to these papers. They speak for themselves. I used an envelope, a window envelope, which was a junk envelope, and I decorated it, cut it down, decorated it, and made this pretty tag with this lovely photograph and some of the, this is from the word soup, and I'm not sure where this came from, but this is a book page and a little bit of the paper from the collection, and that slips in there. Another beautiful page with the butterflies. Turn over, and again I've used some junk envelopes to make a double pocket at the side. I've ripped the envelope, decorated the inside, ripped the envelope and inked it to give it that distressed look. I just added a couple of cards, and again this is from the collection. These are the cutouts, the envelopes and the pen. Slips in there. I created a doily using some of the papers, and again this is a ledger page. Excuse me, I'll have to take a wee sip of my tea. I've got a frog in my throat, and this has been put onto acetate, and again it's from the Vintage Beauties collection. Gorgeous papers for journaling, and I just cut out a little piece of the background paper and added it there in the centre of the spread. Centre spread of signature, which is lovely. And we turn over, we have some more stenciling, the back of the doily, and this is a large tab that I made using the We Are Memory Keepers tab board, and decorated it at the front and added a flashcard. And again, same thing here, decorated it using some of the cutouts of just leftover papers. And this is, I'm sure this is one of Amanda's vintage photographs, and I just backed it onto a cabinet card. This also comes in the Gentleman's Diary collection, the little tab, and that goes in there. Made a pocket using some of the papers, a little bit of lace, butterfly, and this is from the Word Soup collection, and that pops in there. Keep going. This is just journaling, and again a belly band with a little tab to stop this falling out, and this is one of the cut aparts, as is the magnifying glass, and some Word Soup numbers that I printed to a page to get them a bit smaller, and that slips back in there. You turn it over, journaling spot. This is just a fold over page, and I've used one of the large cut aparts to decorate it, and I added just a little flashcard. We turn this over, it's an envelope, and it holds just a little journaling card from the Vintage Beauties collection. That slips in there. The envelope's been decorated with using, I can show you here, I've kind of mirrored so that it closes properly, if you know what I mean. Turn that back round. And that just tucks away there nicely. Some more stenciling. It's more of that pretty paper. And we're coming towards the end. This is the vellum. And that's the last of that signature. Now we're on to the second signature. I've done nothing to this page. It's beautiful. And I decorated just the corner. It's not a tuck spot, just decoration. We've done another vellum. And I've tried to mirror as much as I can the first signature. This again is another envelope with a tag. And if we open the envelope up, you'll see it carries just a flashcard. And then I've backed onto some, what are they called again? Index cards. I think it's index cards. You can get them in various colours. And I bought the kind of vintagey looking sepia colour and just back that one. Oops. I'll pop that back in later. Some more stamping, and again the papers, a little pocket, just a very small one that takes this journaling card. And this came from one of Amanda's collections, can't remember which. This is a cut apart in the Gentleman's Diary collection, and again some word soup numbers, some vintage music paper, another doily, this time in the black to match the theme of this one. The pocket with a tag, and this is from the Vintage Beauties collection. It's very pretty. Another tab, but this time I made it smaller. If you see from this one, it's large. It goes top to bottom. This one I cut down. I just used one of the tall, slim butterfly cutter parts. Here I've just added the word file, and this was from one of Amanda's collections as well. And that slips in there. Another belly band. The centre spread, isn't he handsome? Little bird in the flowers. And the two of them marry up just beautifully. That's kind of feminine and that's very masculine. But they go together beautifully. Turn over, I've used another junk envelope. This time I cut out some of the little photographs to add on. The word soup numbers and the globe, the map. And decorated the inside, and I made a pretty tag using one of the photographs from Amanda's collection. Word soup, a little bit of lace, cut apart, and different papers that were left over. And that sits in there very nicely. Turn over. Oops. It's an invoice of some description. Another envelope that I made into a double pocket to take this ephemera, and it's just two journaling cards. Here we have the back of the lady here, and I used it as a tuck spot for a journaling card. And these are all cut aparts and leftovers from the collection. This is an envelope that opens out again, and it's got one of those magic letters. It just slips in there. You can journal on the inside. Turn that back and we'll pop that in there. Some more stenciling. Very pretty. The doily. And again, the vintage music sheet. And I just used a tag with some rattan. Well, it's not rattan, it's a kind of Oh, it's a funny feel to it. It's like straw, but it's not. Cut this out and use one of the soup words, soup numbers, and the file. Turn it over. We have, again, this is a large tab, which I've decorated and extended. And I made another very pretty family photograph. And actually, this was an accident. If I bring this up close, you'll see it's kind of greenish here, and there's a kind of greenish there. Well, I was having a sip of tea, and a little drip from the cup fell onto my picture, and I think it actually gives it a bit of character. So I kept it, and it jots in there. Stamping, and again we have a pocket just made from brown paper, a little butterfly. I used a little bit of material, stuck the numbers on it, and this is just a cabinet card, and I've used a photograph that matches in with the theme of the journal. This is the back of the lady from the Vintage Beauties collection, and again we're coming towards the end. I made a little pocket using these two cute little boys. I cut out a key, and I think this is from I think it was Alice in Wonderland, one of the keys from her collection, from Amanda's collection. And these are just layered up to give you a pocket, a side tuck pocket. I've used one of her oval photographs, and again the key, just a strip of paper and some numbers from the Word Soup collection goes there. Turn it over, and we come to the last bit, she says, and it contains again, this is a sheet of paper made into an envelope, a fox envelope, using one of Amanda's seals and her Word Soup. This lovely picture marries up with this little one here. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Could be a boy, but then girls wore romper suits in those days as well, I think. Anyway, that goes there. This is a little notebook, which is made up of just scraps of paper with the word notes. Turn it on the back. If you undo the bow, this is actually, you can replace the papers inside. Put that there, and this is just an invoice from one of Amanda's collections. And that slips in there. Anyway, that's my gentleman's journal, diary journal. Thank you very much for taking the time to come and visit with me. I'm going to be coming back with another couple of projects that I've completed, and I'll do some walkthroughs with you. In the meantime, as I said, thank you very much for staying with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.